Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jasmin Condet and I am a realtor in Kalamazoo, Michigan. Today we are back with a familiar face right here, Mr. Chris.
Hi everybody. Thanks for having me on your video.
Of course, love to have you back. So today we are going to touch on the market and the rates and how that is affecting the market today. Okay, so let's just, I guess, first of all, Chris, you are with a different company now, right? Last time they seen you were with Mortgage One. So let everybody know who you're with now.
Correct. So I am now with My Mutual Mortgage. They are a Michigan-based company out of Port Huron, Michigan. We are in 48 different states. We are a local lender. Underwriting and processing and everything is still in-house. They got some fantastic options. We now do like construction loans. We do a one-time close as well as a two-time close. So just a great opportunity to be with a new company.
That's excellent. I'll make sure, of course, to put Chris's info in the description box. But okay, so what we're here for today, like I said, we're talking rates. So let's hop into, I guess, something real simple like rates. What's a rate? Like, what's rates when you're buying a house? Can you explain that to people, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. So the rate is the cost of what it costs a borrower to use money to purchase a home. And about 6 months ago, interest rates were hovering right around the 4% range. And with inflation and with the Fed's trying to control inflation, they've really increased the rates to combat inflation. And so rates right now are anywhere between 6.5 to 7 1/8. Just depends on a few different factors. So.
Yeah, like what types of factors go into play when you're talking about rates?
Yeah, good question. So you've got credit score, you've got loan amount, you've got down payment, and then obviously, the loan program that you end up going with. Here in Kalamazoo, I love Kalamazoo County. There is a program called MISHDA, and you don't have to be a first-time home buyer for this program. It's because Kalamazoo is a targeted area, so therefore you have access to either down payment assistance between $7,500 and $10,000 depending on zip code, and then you also have access to a rate of 6% if you're not considering using down payment with MISHDA here in Kalamazoo, which is basically a full percent different between the normal industry rates and what they can offer.
Right.
So as long as you're buying a home that's less than $224,500,
and the 224, don't go to 225.
right? Then you can utilize that program as well.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you catch that. So you're saying rates normally were at least 7 or higher. So during using MISHDA, you can either go with 6% if you're not using the down payment assistance, or you can have 6.5% just using MISHDA, correct?
Correct. Absolutely, yeah. So with the higher interest rates, it's really affecting first-time buyers' affordability. So for example, I just heard this the other day, but if you were buying a $400,000 house last year compared to now, your payment's over $1,000.
What? $1,000? That's crazy. But what? That was like at 4% compared to 7% now?
Probably that was more like 3.75%.
Okay.
But still, I mean,
that's crazy.
It's huge from a year ago.
Right. So basically, like, buyers are getting priced out. They can't really afford the amount of house that they were looking for. Like, if they're going through this crazy market where you have to overpay and overbid on everything, and you try to wait the storm out a little bit, so some people are a little priced out now.
Correct.
Yeah.
But again, when I bought my first house, 2006, I paid a rate of like 6.5, which my lender was like, "Oh my gosh, that is an excellent rate."
Right.
And it was, and we're just in the normalized rates right now. So
Yeah.
don't let rate discourage you from buying.
I was gonna say the same thing, because when I talk to people, they're like, "Yeah, when I bought my house, I was paying 13% for like interest rates." So compared to being spoiled just like a few years ago or a year ago versus what it used to be like back in the day during his age, not my time, his time.
Wow, makes me feel old.
No, but so yeah, so I think that's a really great point to make, is don't be scared. They're higher than what they have been over the last like few months, but they are not high in retrospect.
Right. Another positive takeaway is that you don't have the competition like you did 6 to 12 months ago. Either you're not paying $15,000 to $20,000 over asking price. Either home prices are kind of staying where they're at or coming down a little bit.
Yes.
I'm even seeing sellers starting to pay seller concessions.
They are. Which wasn't happening at first. Like, people will be like, "You want us to pay for something?" "Oh, I got 20 other offers on the table to pick from." So you don't have that fierce competition.
Not at all. So there's a lot of positives with the market too.
Okay. So I know nobody has like a crystal ball. That's what we always like to say. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't predict the future. But are you seeing any type of trends? Are rates gonna go up or go down like within any time?
Yeah, I think throughout the rest of this year, I think rates are going to continue to climb gradually.
Okay.
To a point where things will slow down enough where we probably have to, the Feds would probably have to lower the rates again to keep things moving again. And I think you'll see that happen more in the spring market. So when I say rates are going to go down, do I think they're going to go back down to the 4% range? Probably not. They're probably going to be, between 5 and 7%.
Okay.
It's hard telling, but that would be my observation.
If you have to, how high do you think they will go?
I'm guessing they're right around 7 and 8 kind of right now, again, depending on the loan situation. But I would guess maybe another percent,
okay,
1.5.
Okay. And so what does another percent do for somebody? Like, how does a percent change someone's payment?
Absolutely. So what that's going to do, like in that scenario that we had with the 400,000 we mentioned ago, it's going to really push it closer to probably 1,200. So it really affects, quite a bit actually. But, another 2%.
Yeah. Okay. So what type of advice, like overall, like what type of advice would you give somebody right now when it comes to the rates? And people are just like, "Oh, let me ride it out," or I hear they're high, it's not the time to buy. Like overall, from your standpoint, what type of advice would you give a buyer?
Yeah, so specifically for first-time home buyers, I would recommend that you contact a lender as soon as you can if you plan to buy a house within the next 6 to 12 months. The reason for that is a lot of times I find that first-time home buyers don't know where their credit's at or what's on the credit report. Because rates are so high, or when I say high, they're kind of normalized. But
right. We
because
need to change the verbiage. Yes, I'm about to say the same thing. Yes.
It's important that you have all your ducks in a row with your credit. Because if you have like a 690 credit score, you could actually make a difference getting your score above 700 when it comes in terms of rate and fees.
Okay.
So that would be my recommendation for first-time home buyers. And then for even second or third-time home buyers, I would still encourage you to contact, your local lender, because again, they sometimes are kind of iffy on their credit too. So it'd be nice just to kind of work with credit so we can get the overall, or give them the best rate for those fees. So if you're looking to buy within the next 6 to 12 months, definitely reach out to them.
Great advice. So I just want to kind of touch on a little bit, like rewind it back a little bit, how we were talking about, like, don't be scared with the rates. Like, yeah, they are a little bit higher, but they're not as high as they used to be. Like you said, they're more normalized and stable right now. So I just kind of want to touch back on that and what I'm seeing in the market right now compared to a few months ago. And what that is we're not seeing people overbid as much as they were a few months back. We were seeing people having to go $20,000, $30,000 over if they were lucky. Sometimes they got the house, and sometimes they still didn't. We're seeing less competition, like Chris mentioned earlier. We're seeing sellers actually paying for seller concessions. So I just want to reiterate that while they are higher, it's not to deter you from still going to buy a house. Like, if you're in a position and you can still afford it, it might be a great time, honestly, because you're probably going to get more. You're going to probably get more done for you now than what you were a few months ago. And you got a little bit of time to look at the houses a little bit more. They're not going off the shelf as fast as they were. We're seeing them sit just a little. If it's a really nice house, don't get me wrong, I still see them going like in a weekend, but you do have a little bit more time. You have a little bit more wiggle room, and I don't know. I'm seeing buyers just slow down a little bit now.
Right, absolutely. And the other thing when it comes to rates too, just remember one thing, that rates will always change, up or down. So when you're buying a home, just think of it this way: you're marrying the home, but you're dating the rate. So hopefully, listening to other people's predictions, I'm guessing that rates will come back down to give that buyer an opportunity to refinance here in the next 12 months.
Right, right. I was going to touch on that too. I was going to ask, they're not all the way locked in on those rates. So if they are higher right now, there's options down the road to be able to, like you said, refinance.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And we could make a whole video on refinancing, guys. We'll touch back on that another day.
Absolutely. So.
But okay, is there anything else you'd like to add about rates or about the market? Anything you're seeing that you want people to know about?
Well, we're working on putting together a program where it's called a 2-1 buy down.
Okay.
Which will give buyers an opportunity to qualify at a lower rate. So the way the program works is that, let's say for example, the rate's 7%.
Okay.
Well, you'll qualify based on a 5% rate.
Okay.
So that 5% rate is locked in for the first year. The second year it goes up to 6, and then the third year it'll be 7 for the life of the loan or when you refinance.
Okay.
But what that program does is it gives the buyer the ability to qualify at a 5% rate compared to a 7% rate. So we are working on getting that in place. So,
that sounds like a pretty cool program.
When that's available, I'll let you know.
Okay. I'll keep you guys updated. So again, I will put Chris's information in the description box. You can either reach out to me and connect you with Chris, or you could reach out to Chris directly. Tell him you've seen him on this YouTube channel and that you just loved his presence, right? and let him know if you want to see him on here anymore, or are you done? You can let us know. You can let us know below too. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to write them down below. Maybe someone else has the same question, and either I or Chris can hop on and answer some of the questions you guys may have. I don't have anything else right now.
No, thanks for having me on your show.
Thanks for coming over to my show. All right, guys. Thank you. Of course, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you know the next time I put out a video, and like our video. Bye.